Hey everybody, it's John Petrosky again, giving you another sneak peek at Over the Reich, a multiplayer scenario that I am in the process of building for Civ2 Test of Time, and specifically the Test of Time patch project by the Nameless One. I have to tip my hat to a few forum members who've really been helping me out at Civ Fanatics on this one, Professor Garfield and Nighttime. The two of them combined have really just changed this scenario so much. Professor Garfield kind of got it started, and Nighttime really picked up the ball and ran into the end zone here. But between the two of them, what they have managed to do is finally crack the code, so to speak, for strategic bombing in Civ2. If you're a designer or you've just been playing it for a while, then you know that really since the game came out, we've all been trying to figure out a good way to implement strategic bombing, and there just really hasn't been one. Air units, they can't be diplomats, so you can't have them destroy improvements with a sabotage function like a spy. That was tried, it didn't work. They can't pillage any ground below them, so they can't do strategic bombing that way, so that was tried and that didn't work. So really, you really couldn't do it. You could go to the Over the Reich build thread from years ago and see a really complicated way that I came up with to do it, but it was too complicated. It just wasn't any fun, and it wasn't practical. Lua changes all that. Lua makes it easy. This is seamless now. It's so seamless, in fact, that I can almost guarantee you, in fact, I can guarantee you, the AI could actually handle it. You could implement this into a single-player scenario. The AI would be able to do it. They would be able to rebuild cities and destroy cities. And the reason that they can do that is because we've tied it to simply building improvements and destroying units, two things that the AI is very good at doing. It's very simple. Something that was super complicated in earlier versions of this scenario is now just as easy as playing a regular game of Civ2, okay? And so what do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at the Ruhr Valley here, alright? Over the Reich has three different maps. It has a low altitude map where most of the cities are. It has a high altitude daylight map for the American strategic bombing campaign. It has a high altitude night map for the Bomber Command's area bombing campaign. So on the low altitude map, which is where we are right here, you'll see certain terrain that looks like cities, it looks like refineries, it looks like factories. And you go into one of the cities and you'll see they have pretty simple improvements. I'm trying to keep it simple on purpose here. So you've got civilian population 1, 2, and 3, and you have industry 1, 2, and 3 in this particular city. Now the civilian improvements, they tie into the happiness improvements, so your temple, your coliseum, your cathedral. The industrial ones tie into factories, manufacturing plants, power plants. There are refineries that you can find in other cities like Essen. This would be your bank and your marketplaces, things like that, right? Well, anyway, so you can see that these cities are pretty built up. They have good sized populations. They have a lot of different things in them that are going well, and everybody seems pretty happy, right? I mean, pretty good happiness, okay? Now, let's go look at our British friends for a second. We'll go past, this is the high altitude American map, so you can see these factories and refineries actually tie into those units. They're linked to those improvements that are in those particular cities. And same here with the high altitude night map. See, these units right here, these represent each one of those improvements. I have little stars next to them to help me just kind of design it. I don't know if that'll stay or not in the final version. But like a 1 star above this probably ties into the temple. This one might be into the Coliseum with the 2 stars, and then the cathedral would have 3. So let's take our bombers and let's just kind of see what happens here. Hopefully some of these bombs will hit their target. Hopefully it won't take too long. I mean, they are K units, and okay, there we go. Now check that out. The units destroyed that particular unit ties into these two particular tiles on this map, right? And on this map, you can see it's a gutted building. Really cool, if you ask me. So anyways, let's just keep going. We'll do some real destruction here. Boom, even more is destroyed, right? I mean, the RAF is just kind of having a field day. Oh, I was a little off on that one. I just want to kind of really destroy quite a bit here. Just so that we can kind of see what's going on and we don't miss anything, right? So there we go. I mean, that's a pretty good bombing run. You know, there's firestorms going on all along the Ruhr now. So let's go back into the map right here, and you can see Dusseldorf. Well, now they don't have those happiness improvements anymore. They've been removed, and you can see where they normally were happy or content, now they are upset because those things don't work anymore. Had this been an American thing, you would have seen all of this production right here drop down, and you wouldn't have these industry improvements anymore. So that's strategic bombing. I mean, that is exactly the point of it. That is just an awesome mechanism that is going to debut, at least in this scenario, and this scenario really wouldn't be what it is without it. So super excited about it. It really, go to the development thread and go look at the old version and how much that sucked, and then compare it against this and how easy and simple and intuitive it is. And you know, I hope you guys will be as excited as I am, because again, the AI can do this. This is something that the AI can handle. So anyways, thank you to Nighttime and Professor Garfield. Thank you to the Nameless One. Thank you to Grishnak for all of the work on Caesar's Gallic Wars with the K units too, that drop the bombs here. I mean, Lua's it. If you're not using Lua, you really need to start, because it can do so much more than the base game. It's just incredible. Alright guys, I'll catch you later.